Well, hello guys, I hope you're doing well, and for this week's video we are going to be touring some of Toronto's most unique sites. So if you've never been to Toronto before, it's Canada's largest city and it's super diverse. You can find people from all over the world here. It's pretty much Canada's business capital, the largest city, and there is just really an unending amount of things to do. For today's video, I wanted to do something a little bit different where we're going to tour some more unique sort of attractions here in Toronto that not everybody really knows about and comes to see if it's their first time, but they are definitely worth it. So we're pretty much going to start things off with a bang with one of the coolest attractions that you can definitely come to see in Toronto. And I couldn't even believe that something like this existed when I first heard about it, because we're still fairly close to downtown right now, and I felt like I had definitely walked around this area before. How had I not seen this mammoth of an attraction? But nevertheless, this is definitely one of the coolest places in Toronto, and that is CASA LOMA. Alright guys, so here I am in front of the castle, and as you can see, it is absolutely massive. We can't film inside, but I just wanted to tell you guys that if you did come here, this is definitely one of the best views in Toronto that not many people know about, because there's actually a tower that you can go up that is about 4 or 5 stories tall that overlooks the city, and it is just amazing. So the castle was originally commissioned by Sir Henry Pellet, who was one of Toronto's most successful businessmen. He had a whole bunch of different investments going on and actually brought hydroelectricity to Ontario, but unfortunately he only got to live in this castle for a decade because he ended up going bankrupt. Alright guys, so second on the list of unique places in Toronto that you absolutely have to visit is definitely Kensington Market. I absolutely love this area because it's a very artistic, eclectic, and you could say hipster area of Toronto where it's just much more laid back than the rest of the city. It's just got a lot of really cool street art and really cool vintage vendors. If you're looking for some vintage stuff or some really nice handmade things from local artists, this would definitely be the place to go.
What the heck? So she didn't want to say
No, la losa hablamos. No, hers just go really fast.
This looks so good. So Kensington Market is definitely one of my absolute favorite places in Toronto because it's actually the very first place that I moved to when I came to Toronto. We couldn't get an apartment right off the bat, so we had to end up living in this like tiny, very shady hostel just like a few blocks back. And although living in the hostel wasn't that amazing, I absolutely loved being in this district and having such an eclectic atmosphere, amazing food, and just a really great introduction to hipster Toronto. number 3 most unique attractions here in Toronto is definitely the Path. And if you guys don't know what that is, it is one of the largest underground walking networks in North America, and I didn't know about this until probably 6 months in to living in Toronto, and it was really such a shame that it took that long because I could have used this thing in the winter. Once you get underneath, you can pretty much go down to all the main sort of like skyscrapers in the downtown area, and there's like a whole world of stores and restaurants underneath. It's absolutely crazy. The only issue that I have with it is that it can get super complicated and you can totally mistake where you are and get lost, which is basically what happens every single time I go down there, but hopefully today we can find our way back. We made it! Alright, and our 4th attraction is right behind me, and that is Toronto Island, and also, if you're feeling extra adventurous, is Thompson Park. It's basically like being out at the cottage where it's just a whole bunch of greenery, amazing beaches, a few really good restaurants even. Also a fairly big area, so if you are thinking of walking it, it will probably take you like 4 hours from one end to the other if you were going to do that. So I highly suggest getting a bike because then it'll only take you about an hour. Won't be going there today, but I was there just a couple of weeks ago, so I will insert the footage for you guys now. So here we are at number 5 of the most unique things to do in Toronto, and in my opinion, that would be the Distillery District. I really like this area of Toronto because it really feels like you're stepping back in time with all the brick buildings, all the cute little cafes and the local stores. It's just a really nice area of Toronto. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this little tour of my favorite places here in Toronto, and I'd love to know in the comments down below which ones were your favorite, or if you've ever been to Toronto, which places you recommend. But other than that, I hope you guys are having a spectacular day, keep being your own kind of beautiful, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.